Hello, and welcome to a supplemental video, if you will, about this week and about Blackboard, because I know there's been a lot of confusion about Blackboard. Of course, you know me well enough to know now that that is absolutely not my intent. It's to make this confusing. So I thought maybe this might, I don't know, help you to clarify how to use it, what the stuff is saying, etc. So here we go. In front of you, you have Blackboard. I just logged on to my Blackboard account. And this is what I see when Blackboard pops up on my screen. So what I wanted to do is kind of quickly show you what I've tried to redesign it. So first of all, over here in this thing called lessons, and of course maybe there's a better way to label lessons. So what you see in front of you is what you get when you click lessons. Now I updated this because I got a lot of questions on it and people didn't find it clear enough, so let me go through it. So basically, at the top of this page, it is a page of instructions, essentially. It holds no content. So if you click on this, it takes you to nothing. There is nothing in here because this is just instructions for the week. So somebody said maybe I ought to make this an announcement as opposed to a content area. So I mean, I certainly could think about doing that. But for now, basically, this is the way it works. At the top, you see what is due for the current week that we're in. So week 4 opened on the day after class last week, or on the day of class, so essentially opened on September 14th, and it will remain open for the rest of the semester. But for this week, you must complete quiz 2 on chapter 2 and assignment 2. So this beginning part will always lag what we're actually doing in class. And that's because I want to give you an opportunity to ask questions on the problems from chapter 2 before I quiz you on them. So initially, my thought was to have you do this right at the end of class, this quiz, and just get this over with, and then we can move on. But because there was some question about whether or not people could actually do that, and it was a little bit of an issue, well, then I left it open for a week. But some of the confusion, I believe, is rooted in this beginning part right here. So this is actually the assignment for the current week. Now, as I'm standing here looking at it, maybe I could change the title that says, week 4, chapter 3, I don't know, quiz due on chapter 2. But this says, for this week, you must complete quiz 2 on chapter 2 and assignment 2. Both will open after class on 14 September and remain open until midnight or 11:59 on Tuesday, 20 September, which was last night. Then I talk a little bit about the people in the online class and what they need to do. And then I go on to the chapter 3 lessons. So now imagine this is the lesson for the week, actually. So this lesson opened on class after 14 September. All right, so this is the lesson moving forward. And this is what I want you to digest for this past week. So it opened on 14 September. It will remain open for the rest of the semester. And we'll discuss it in class on 21 September. So perhaps that would be a good thing to add in here. Maybe I'll do that right now. Okay, so I added that in. Chapter 3 lesson opens after class on 14 September and will be discussed in class on 21 September. The lesson will remain open for the semester. So for this week, I'd like you to read the article in, I'd like you to read chapter 3 in the textbook. And the article, the median isn't the message. So those things will be discussed in class on 20 September. Now, as I'm reading this, I can see sort of maybe where some of the confusion comes from. I mean, among other things, learning, reading, and watching due by 20 September at midnight. So it sort of looks like this assignment is due, but really what I meant to say, and I guess I can clarify it, is I want you to read this text, read this article, watch this video, do this homework, and then once we've had a chance to discuss the homework, then you'll do the quiz. And the applying part is what I want you to think about during the week, how you would do this. And then I give you a week to actually do it, because I assume you're going to have questions, so that's why I want to have time in class to talk about the applying section. Although I think I'll modify this right now just for clarity, and of course I'm going to use this as a template moving forward, and then hopefully it will be clearer to everybody. Okay, so maybe that was more confusing than I thought it was, because it really is for discussion in class on 21 September. All right, so you need to read the chapter, you need to read the article, the meeting isn't the message, and then watch the chapter 3 video, and then these how-to videos, a little bit more in histograms because they're really important, and then this thing here, news to research project, which comes up several times in the words below. But the news to research project, I mean, I've kind of tried to walk you through this next assignment. Okay, so now we move on down here, and we've got 2 categories now instead of 3, practice and applying. And within practice, you're always going to have the homework problems that are assigned, because that's kind of how you practice this stuff. It's sort of the rote memory. And then you're going to have the quiz. So in here, you see that you have to do these practice problems, right? They're just listed. I think in the video in chapter 3 I had mentioned these, but then I added a couple more in, so I was just clarifying, I wanted you to do these, not the other ones. And then I want you to make sure that you've read this Writing with Statistics vignette on the investment decision, because they do a nice job of explaining how it is that we write with statistics in an effective way, because it's really tricky and much harder than it seems. And so when you start writing about all this stuff, you want to have read all of these Writing with Statistics vignettes, because they really are helpful. So please read that. And besides, it's like, a page and a half. And then, you take this quiz. Now this quiz 3, it's over chapter 3, and it will open on Wednesday, 21 September, after class tonight, and be open until next Tuesday at midnight on 27 September. Now, the applying part of chapter 3, which we'll discuss in class tonight, is all of this below. So assignment 3, which continues your work on your project, and then these are the pieces to it. I got an email from someone yesterday that had done all of this for this week, but really this is not due until Tuesday, the 27th at midnight, because I intend on elaborating on all of this stuff in class tonight. So basically, it's going to have 3 pieces: the literature review, the data description, and the references. And then I'm going to talk about, how to do all of this stuff. I mean, I don't expect you to just know how to do it. So this applies the stuff we learned in class to a project. And so how do you use all this, right? Rather than just, that's kind of my goal in this class, is to take all this stuff you learn up here in the textbook and make it useful for you, because let's face it, doing statistics problems in a textbook is not a useful skill in the workforce. So I'm trying to show you, okay, so this is what you do with it, this is how you apply it. So that's what this is. So tonight, the bulk of the class will be about this, and how, you update your literature review, and, how do you do this data description and references. Now, in this video that I talked about up here, the one that says news to research project, I talk a little bit about, actually not a little bit, quite a bit about how you do these things. And then in here, I've just elaborated a little bit more. But again, I'm going to talk about it in class tonight, so I don't want to get into it too much. But then at the bottom, I just provided a little quick summary that says, hey, look, this is what you need to do. both these things will open up. The quiz on chapter 3 as well as the assignment. They'll open up after class tonight, which is week 4 of class, and we'll talk about chapter 3. If anybody has any questions on those homework problems, we'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about what I expect you to do next with your data and your project and all that stuff, and then that's what's going to be due before class next Tuesday. Now I want to go back over here to this panel, and I want to show you quickly the grade center and try to hide everyone's names. But if you see this exclamation point here, it means that it needs grading, so I have to go in and grade it. What happened this week was there was a plus and a minus, which I did not know meant that the grades had to be reconciled, because I had told Blackboard that I was one of 4 graders, and so Justin Hafford, Kristen Hall, a variety of others people had all the authority to do the grading on assignment 1, none of whom did any of it, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that I had said that it could do it, so I had to go in and reconcile the grades. So that's why you couldn't see the feedback. So now I've learned how to do it. I had no idea how to do it before. But once you get a grade, you should be able to click on it and see the feedback. So I'm going to see if I can show you that. So I'm going to click here on Justin Hafford. So he's a TA for this class, and you should be able to view grade details. And when you view grade details, you ought to see something like this. Now in this case he has no grade because he didn't actually do this assignment, but you should have something here that you can click on that will give you more details on your grade. If it's bold, it's sort of like underlined, and you should be able to click on it, and it should show you what you got wrong. Okay, and so then here is someone who actually took the quiz and got 10 out of 10, so I thought it would be okay to just use them. You can view attempts here, and then underneath you can see the answer that they chose and what the correct answer was. So I hope that helps clarify. And then on the assignments, it's similar. Let me show you one of those. Okay, so here's another assignment. So I click on this view attempts, and here you can see the person's assignment. Okay, but over here, okay, so what you do, you open it up, you can see the person's assignment, or your assignment in this case, and what you want to do is click on this thing right here with no name, and you get this little view rubric. You click on it, and then you can see the rubric that I used and the various levels, right? I had 3 levels, which I usually do: novice, competent, and proficient. And then this is what I was looking for, and then this is my feedback underneath. And then in some cases at the bottom I have more feedback, but in this one I guess I don't, and so this gives you the feedback. So hopefully you can see all that and it is helpful. So here we are back to the home page, and I just want to close by saying that I hope you understand that this is a learning experience for me, just like it is you. I've never taught a class online before. I have used Blackboard a minimum amount, like, to post assignments and post grades, but never have I done anything quite so interactive as this. So I hope you understand that I'm trying the best I can. I want to thank a couple of you actually emailed me and said, hey, look, this is confusing. It might be better if you did this or did that. And actually, Sam in the online class and I had a Google Hangout yesterday. Again, a new experience for me, and he helped me through, kind of what he saw and what might be helpful. So I hope this is helpful. By all means, let me know when you get confused, and I will do my best to try to straighten it out. All right. So thanks, and have a great day. I'll see many of you later.